Think your startup idea is the next big thing? Hold that thought and your wallet. Before you dive into development, there's a crucial step you're missing: real-world validation. Hi, I'm Ilya, the founder of Eleken, a product design agency for SaaS. I'm here to introduce you Build in Public, a method that allows you to test your ideas directly with your target audience without coding, designing, or upfront funding. From my experience, I can say that before a startup achieves a product market fit, it goes through a process of continuous quick iterations. And this journey starts with an idea validation. At this point, your goal is to see if your idea has any potential. And of course, as an effective entrepreneur, you should focus on resolving this question using minimal resources. That is where the building in public approach proves useful. Let me quickly explain what is it all about. BIP, or Build in Public, is when a company or startup chooses to openly share every step of their product creation journey with the audience. It means that they share both their success and challenges, as well as business metrics and insights. Now, you might be wondering, why would someone do that? Or is it there is a risk in sharing all that inside information? First things first, startup ideas are overrated. This may be an unpopular opinion, but what really matters is how you bring those ideas to life. So there is no need to stress over someone taking your idea. I dive deeper into this topic in one of my recent videos. Feel free to check it out and find more insights. Second, building in public gives startup founders big benefits that make it worth the risk. Being transparent helps to connect with like-minded people, find investors and key team members, establish trust in your community without pushing sales, show yourself as an expert in your field. And what's most valuable for us is that BIP can be very helpful in obtaining early feedback on your feature ideas, designs, strategies, and so on. So, how to build in public to validate your idea? First of all, choose a channel where you feel comfortable creating content and decide what kind of content you want to share. Start to engage with your community. Use Twitter, Reddit, Discord, or any kind of specialized forums where your target audience hangs out. Take part in conversations and provide value rather than just promoting your idea. For inspiration, check out Xavier Koifer's profile on X, where he talks about startups and marketing. You can try to share a brief outline or prototype of your idea on social media or other platforms and ask the honest feedback. Take a look at this thread. Adol shared the whole process of finance tracker creation from day one and got his feedback. You can also organize webinars, Ask Me Anything sessions, or even offline meetings to discuss your idea, answer questions, and gather even more feedback. The next tip on adopting BIP is to be regular with your updates. Share progress updates weekly, monthly, daily, or else to show what you've learned and what you've done and what's coming up next. For example, here's the monthly Build in Public update Kavya did for her SaaS app Resume Pro. This post definitely makes me want to come back for more updates on progress next month. And to get even more feedback, try pilot programs. Offer to solve your target problem for a few people for free or at a discounted rate in exchange for feedback. Use no-code tools, AI-generated tools, or raw prototypes to showcase your idea. It's just testing and loyal audience will be fine with that. Use tools like GitHub or Trello to let audience publicly track your development process and allow people to suggest features or improvements. And lastly, try funding in public. If all goes well and you feel that the core audience believes in your idea, you have nice crowdfunding chances. Leverage your engaged community to start a pre-order campaign. Create a Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign to gain funds for your project. Propose milestones for your project and ask for funding to reach one another. When you see the idea has its paying audience, you can bring it further to product worth paying for. This marks the beginning of the validation 2.0. MVP validation. I have quite a lot of useful videos on MVPs on my channel, including what is MVP, the difference between demo, prototype, MVP, and full product, the tips for MVP product management, and more. I really recommend you to check them out. You'll find the links below in the description. Today, let's focus on how to validate your MVP without investing too much engineering resources. One approach that comes to mind first is leveraging no-code platforms. Since MVP can take various forms, there are a lot of different no-code tools to create them. WordPress, Webflow, or Framer to build a website, Figma, Flutter Flow to create a clickable prototype, Bubble, AppSmith, or Formula to build an MVP app. No matter what tool you choose, the key is to keep your MVP focused on your core value proposition and nothing more. That's why I believe at this point it's very important to hire a designer who can help you start small and minimize risks. And designer will help you prioritize features and discard those that are non-essential for MVP. A designer can create a quick and cheap prototype to test with your audience much quicker than coding the same functionality. You can collect feedback on prototypes and iterate your design until you're ready to code your MVP. The main reason I'm confident you need a designer during the MVP validation stage comes from my experience with Eleken. For instance, just recently our designers helped our client Ubet go from concept of their learning system to a prototype and ultimately to MVP design in just 3 months. It took us 1 month to design a prototype that went from this to this. As a result, our prototypes helped Ubet attract funding and proceed with building the minimum viable product. After that, it took us 2 more months to create the MVP design. And guess what helped us to keep up with the short timeline? Our designer used a low-code tool called Retool to build and test the part of the MVP while developers were busy with other tasks. We also tried out a no-code tool called Framer to create a landing page in just 3 days. It was a breeze to use, so Ubet launched a landing page way before the product itself. This helped kickstart their pre-launch marketing efforts. As you can see, a good designer is actually able to save your time and budget greatly when launching an MVP. And when you have your MVP success, you're ready to invest more in the project and scale it with low risk. And that's a sign we've got to the validation 3.0. Product validation. If you've done everything right, now you have a loyal community to support you at this stage and offer ways to your product's improvement. Gather feedback and make small steps to keep improving the experience of your existing users as well as attract new ones. If your current no-code tools cannot handle user needs and lack necessary features, consider investing in developing a custom product with a professional designer and developers. Remember to always communicate with your users and always improve based on their feedback. After all, this is your audience who can help you validate your SaaS idea with no code, no designer, and no funding. Let me know in the comments if you feel like you're open enough to try building a public approach for your startup. And if not, no worries, check out my other video about 9 ways to make your startup go viral to find your comfortable strategy. Thank you so much for watching. If this video was useful to you, please hit the like button and subscribe, and see you in the next one.